Okay, so like I mentioned yesterday's video, this has to come off to go on the Toro. So it should just be, if I remember correctly, it should just be 2 1/2-inch bolts that run right down through here. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's all I have here holding it on. So we'll get these off here and we will put it on the Toro right there, and we will find out if that is if it's gonna fit on there exactly like I think it's gonna. Okay, so 2 1/2-inch bolts with nuts just like I thought, and it lifted right up off there. So now we got to set it on that deck and see how it's going to work out. So not as planned, but it's no big deal. The way they sit right there, that would be perfect the way it sits right there. The only problem is it can't sit down low enough because these tabs right here are in the way. So I'm never putting the regular grass flap on here that is stock. It doesn't matter because I don't have one anyway, but I'm not going to go buy one. I have no need for one. I want to run this chute blocker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these 2 tabs off right there so they're not in the way, and this thing will sit right down flush. And then it'll be right where I need it to be. So that's the 2 tabs. Takes care of that. Now this should sit flush, but the only problem is I need it to go back further. It needs to go that way more. Okay, so the problem is it'll sit where I want it, which needs to be up here more, and as low as I want it, but I cut those tabs off, which allows it to sit down more, but now where these brackets make an L and they come out that way, these are in the way. I can't slide it back as far as I need it to be. So I need to cut these off. These are going to be harder to cut off because the angle you got to get in there just won't be as simple. So I got to get these cut off. I'm not going to film that. I'm just going to cut them quick and then I'll bring you guys back. But I'll cut those off and I'll be able to slide it back more. And I should be able to get this piece, this Qwik Chute, right down in there where I need it to be. Okay, so I got all those cut off of there. They didn't cut off as easy as I want. There's 2 little notches there and there, like little rectangle pieces. And I think it's something that, like those tabs, I think they set down in there and then they just weld down there and down there, because nothing's welded along there or there, and nothing was welded along these sides. So I think it's all one piece with a little like nipple that goes down the deck, and then they just weld it there and there for both of them. I tried hitting those with a punch to pound them out. They don't really seem to want to move, but it doesn't matter because they're not in my way anyway. So I put the Qwik Chute on there and I made some marks where I need to drill some holes. So I'm gonna drill some holes and then I'm gonna get this thing mounted on there. Okay, now so here's the deal. I got the holes drilled, but this comes into play. Now, for all you guys that would order a Qwik Chute for this deck, you'd probably order the one that comes stock for it. I'm sure the mounting for that one could be a little different since you'd be ordering it for this deck. But for this one here, since it's not the one actually for this deck, this is where a problem comes in. This here, like I said, allows me to move that baffle inside in and out. When it's all the way in like that, it closes the mouth, and they say that's for dry conditions, low grass, which I almost never cut. I would actually venture to say I never cut. So in the middle, they say is best for bagging, and then all the way out, they say is good for bagging, but it's also best for wet, tall, thick grass. So since 90% of what I cut almost all the year, I would want it all the way out anyway, and it'll still do decent for bagging. So that's a good thing, because once this bolt runs through here, if I try to move this baffle, it's going to hit that bolt. So I won't be able to move this baffle in and out. So that definitely becomes a problem. Not a problem for me though. So just so that you guys would be aware of that. So anyway, let's get this thing on here where it needs to be. We will get these bolts put in, wherever them holes went. And I'm just gonna tighten these down. And then one other thing I need to do, if I can get you guys a view of this, that nut right there, and there's another one right in there that goes down to those mounting brackets. I'm gonna have to loosen them up, because if I bolt it down the way it is right now, it'll keep this whole blocker at an angle. It won't sit, the mounts won't sit flush. The deck must be a little bit different on that one. So I'll loosen those up, and then I'll tighten the 2 mounting bolts, and then once the mounting bolts are tight, then I'll snug these ones back up. Okay, so it's mounted on there. Oh. Flip it up, pull it down, and you can go partially open with it, partially the way open with it, which is what I like. I use it a lot like that. It works really well that way. You can let some out without having it clog up underneath the deck, stuff like that. Or you can just smack it all the way open, yank it back, all the way closed. So, and it's really no further away reaching for it than it was on the other mower, so it's pretty much exactly the same. It also sits back far enough. I have enough of a gap in there to hang the accelerator on here. This is the other thing. With these X-Mark decks, they have a hole there, and they have that ridge right there. So the accelerator baggers, when you put them on X-Mark decks, or on these Toro decks, I meant, so when you put them on X-Mark or Toro, you just stick the nub that sticks out of the front of the accelerator right in the hole there, and it has that U-shaped bracket that's squared off, that's on the back part, just hangs right over there. They fit on here. You don't need any mounting hardware to put it on the Toro or the X-Mark decks. Like, this is the mounting hardware for the for this Wright deck, obviously, but this is the bracket that it hangs over on the edge, which is just like that that rib that's already on the Toro deck, and there's the hole right there for this piece where it goes in the front. So I don't need to take any of this hardware. I'll take it off anyway. Obviously, there's no point in it staying on there, but I don't need to use this hardware on that deck. So now this thing is just one step closer to it being the ultimate machine for this coming spring, which is pretty much what I've deemed this thing. That's exactly where I want it to be, and how I want it to be. So it's going to have everything I need. Like I said, I still haven't tried the accelerator on here yet. I think it'll work just fine. I think it'll go right on, because like I said, when I measured that deck, it was exactly the same width of the mouth, and the opening for it, which will match up fine for the accelerator from that one to this one. So I think it'll be perfectly fine. So I just need to get it in here. It's in the enclosed trailer, just haven't done it, and put it on there and make sure it fits. But the other thing I need to do now is I need to get these blades off of here, and I need to get the blades off of that Wright that are going to be coming over to here, the high lift short tail, like I've explained to you guys already, and put the stock blades back on there. I'm going to sharpen them to a nice factory edge. Like I said, they're still almost brand new. I'm going to sharpen them to a nice edge. I'm going to make sure they're balanced, and I'm going to put them back on this machine. And then I'll take those high lift short tails that are on there and sharpen them, get them balanced out, and get them back onto this machine, and then I'll just get these blades off of there. But I'll make another whole video on that. I know it's nothing big, but I'm just trying to give you guys some content. It's not boring. It's actually fun in this whole process of getting this mower ready to go come spring, and to be just a badass machine, which I think it's going to be. So like always, guys, you don't have to do it the way we do it. You don't have to do anything like we do it. Just suggestions, and just showing you how we do it in case you're looking for some tips and you like the way that we do it. OSHA violation or not, illegal or not, this is what we do.